ずっと前に諦めていたことばかりで臆病になってしまってた。本当は頑張ってるところを見せたいけど一歩一歩が重くなっていったコーヒーみたいに苦い思い出だっていつか甘い記憶で溶かしてみせるよ。迷わない道たどっていた挑戦するのが怖かった。君と歩きたいと今は言えるかな。もう一度チャンスがあるなら願いを叶えているなら君と描きたいよ未来のブループリンいつまでも。つまらないと嘆いていた日々繰り返してた。今日のせいにして馬鹿にだったこの世界がたとえ滅びてしまっても変わらずここにいたい。一度だけの人生戻りたい理由探していた。でも答えは単純だった。僕と話したいと言って欲しいから。来世だっていい世界だって心は変わらないはずさ。僕は誓いたいよ過去との決別を今ここで。迷わない道たどっていた。挑戦するのが怖かった。君と歩きたいと今は言えるかな。もう一度チャンスがあるなら願いを叶えているなら君と描きたいよ未来のブループリンいつまでも。それでも頑張れるそばにいて夢見ていけるよ。何度もチャレンジいけない挑戦へ。でも変わってみせる。誰にも負けないピンチも
Good morning, friends. Welcome to the day. So, today we are going to continue with where we left off on the book. And I say that we will be continuing to leave off where we left off, despite the fact that in reality it's quite different than it was. In a moment, let me change over to the in-game stream. The music that's playing is all from the official soundtrack for my game. The first track I had commissioned, and it's quite lovely. Let's go with Vanillaware soundtrack today. Perfect. This is thinking music. That we can minimize. I finally figured out how to cycle on and off the anger emotion on this VTuber, because I had had All right. Minimize and continue. So, when last we left off, we had accomplished the creation of the minor cutscene, so that when you walked up to the book and you used it, it produced a zoom in that went to the user interface. Now, I have since massively modified, so let's pull out the flat calendar so that you can take a look at it. I'd love to do, let's do properties. I'll bet you anything that if I do this, you can see this. As long as I dock something, you should be able to see it. Indeed, now that's a superpower. So if I need to show you something, then all I have to do is bring it in and then I can close it. I should make a minimization code. So now that the book is up and running, I needed to not only create a system by which I could customize the interface, because as you can see, there are over, let's build our child lists. Oh, how interesting. I wonder if in yesterday's modifications, it appears I may have cut off my access to the individual building of the child list. Interesting. When editing the book, I had a checkbox here that created a library beneath it, and I must have commented that code out yesterday. Normally I would code on screen, but whenever I have to recompile, it eats so much system memory that it kneecaps the ability to use the tool. So, all right, let's close that then. I should still be able to show you the rest of the interface. Today we'll be working on creating a series of variables that go in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our journal variable and we're going to go properties. Let's click into it. Going to go properties here like this, and we're going to dock it beside. And the first thing we're going to do is grab the test variable that we built yesterday and plug it in here. And we're going to hit enter and we're going to save. So good. And now in order to check this, we need to go into play mode. Which takes a moment, which is all right because I have a sandwich which I'm going to eat. I will listen to the stream later to see if this is disgusting and you can hear me eating a sandwich. I upgraded the 𝗗𝗲𝗃𝗏 microphone system in order to use it, and did not like the larger set. I did not care for the larger boa. The small ones, which I will now purchase a second set of, did just fine. I prefer this mic. It's a lovely lapel mic. Here we go. So what we're hoping is that when the game engages, the book writes to the test variable. Which it does not appear to have done. Variable's still there, 9,000. Integrating with the leading 9. It does not... but that's a question. What if... No, it is not. It is not writing to the variable. Alright. That is a shame. So what we'll do is we'll click over into our Trello integration. And we will add a new card, which we will call bug. And we will call this calendar. No. We'll call this 𝗗𝗊𝒃𝗃 And we will give this a bug icon. Perfect. Bug. And we will create it. And now we will double click and we will change our color. Let's go with traditional red because bug is red. And for our image, we will call this perfect. And for our 3D object, we will do our flat calendar 2.0. Yes. All right, status to do. What are our issues? So, cannot see the color minor variables, and variables are not updating on entry. And then below that, it should be when we enter a variable, the expectation is that when that updates in the JSON, it updates the variable file, meaning that should occur on update of the file literally and check/write on start if called for. Alright, double check that it's saved, save it, and I will come back for it. I built this for you. This is connected to our Trello, so anything that comes into Trello I can also see inside of the boards. Back to the game. As you can see, I have modified the journal system so that we are able to choose from the date, find any prior entry that you've entered. These were entered in a prior session, so the saving and the restoring is delicious clams. The saving and restoring is working perfectly fine in the engine. You can go back in time if you wish. I don't believe the multi-year is working anymore. You can go far back if you'd like, into prior years and leave as well. So I may simply disable that button. I am seeing a substantial amount of system lag. I wonder because I'm looking at it. All right, validate all systems. Double checking. I don't have a statistics AI. So I'm very curious. I'm going to apply the variable for system time and see if that also updates it. I would also like to see if this is reading from the variables or if this is reading from itself. So starting fresh. Oh dear. Title and description have been misplaced. Add a checklist, things to fix, create, and a new item. We'll call this description has been misplaced, and we'll add another and call it variables are not connected. good. We'll add another one called variables not scanning, collecting at start. That one may be because there is a helper script that was also created to support those. That will likely take some time to untangle, which is alright. That is the point of doing a game with live QA, and this really is our core system. So the title is still there. I can type into it, but the description box has moved. Now my question is that because... I'm going to pop this out for a moment, I apologize. And I'm going to make it larger. No, it's not. It absolutely slid. How interesting. Okay, they're both still there. It looks like the rectangle transform broke, which happens. Let's go over to the Trello integration again, and let's go back to this, add a new item, which is what was just concerning me. Oh, yes. Hide your swap button upper right. Done. Excellent. Can I dock this so that you could see it if you wanted to? I don't think so. Pretty sure I have this in an isolated header. Alright. Good. Alright. So then, let's evaluate the rest and see if time being connected actually works. Oh, I saw numbers. Good. Okay. So as we saw, would you humor me? I'm going to load right back in. What I'd like to know is, now that those numbers have been stored, do they stay? Meaning when I reload, did it save those values? This is brand new code. I spent 3 days building the code for the back end of the book, and was working until almost 9 last night after a 10-hour workday to try and figure this out. The benefit of my project is that I'm able to work on it in, on, and around work, so that it doesn't interfere with anything, but that I can continue the flow going. As we build out the social more, I will also be responding to social in real time. If you haven't been over to Patreon, you can get videos from me, you can get music from the game, and code that I've created specifically for this project that you can use elsewhere in Unity if you so choose. I apologize that it takes so long to load. Let's see if on reload our numbers are resumed. Typically, the numbers are supposed to be redundantly storing in the variables. I wonder if I shouldn't instruct it to overwrite. I do not see... Oh, here we are. No, it did not save. So, or rather, it may not be saving and may not be loading. So I need the live statistics to save and load. I wonder if they're intending to save and load to the variables. Interesting. All right, then let's open the book and see if it triggers when the script triggers. Oh, it did. Excellent. All right, so it did indeed save within the save file for the book. It did indeed save all of the entry and streak and words written numbers, because one of the things that we are capturing here that I'm quite proud of is the fact that the interface itself holds on to, the calendar interface holds on to within the now duplicated save file, because I pre-wired this for Steam. Within the duplicate save file, it's saving the streak and achievement counts. So now we're going to check and see, just to humor ourselves, going to check and see if when we wire date in and we wire those in, if they don't actually write to our variables. So that's a partial success, which is good. The only challenge that I don't like is when I completely fail, because then there's no reference code for me to know what did and didn't work. I'm so baffled by the fact that it did not, that it broke the multicolor. I'll have to grab an earlier version of the code and compare them. All right, so the test variable did not work. However, we have our time variable for hours, which also did not work. No, incorrect. That is not what this was for. This is not hours to be saved. This is hours to be kept. So I'm going to go into our properties. I think it's our main game. It is our main game. So I'm going to add our main game variables in here, properties, and I will add our main game variables in instead. As you can see, here are our time variables that I've spelled out. So flat calendar, and we're going to take all of our main game. We're going to drop our time variables in as the main game, and then I will need to go through and I will need to, voila, grab our current day. That's a string. We should do the numbers. Current day. And then month. Month. Yeah. And then minutes. Oh, I need to replace hours as well. I add in that I neglected the fact that this is not a field that is being written to by the plugin. It is a field that is being viewed from by the plugin. So we save, and let's see if we managed. Take another bite of my sandwich. We're reaching noon here. I suppose the children will likely wake up soon. Ah, summer break. Something I desperately miss that I had as a child. Alas, one cannot control their holiday. Just be grateful for the fact that we get to spend time doing the things we love at all, which is wonderful. It appears it takes about 90 seconds for the full load now. We will see if our friend here can see time. I began tinkering in the SDK for Steam's game library and for Spotify so that you will be able to classify music onto your journal posts as well. And then I will show you something that I believe is incredibly, incredibly cool. Okay, time variables are showing appropriately in game. Obviously, we're seeing time. Scroll all the way down to our live statistics, which does not appear to have successfully pulled the in-game time from our numbers. I would like to test something. We are going to go into our mood word categories, which is one of the things I want to show you, and I'm going to grab everything that's currently in the dictionary, like this, and I'm going to fight through the user interface to create happy thing. Paste the words. I wonder if it will find them. We're going to test. We're going to leave a single word completely isolated, and the rest we'll leave in comma-separated lists, because what might have to happen here is that we might have to tell it to look for a leading space or a leading punctuation in order to know that it's a standalone word. So I've created a thesaurus. Also, the description is still not looping, nor is it giving me a scroll bar. So I will pop over really quick and I will mark that in our bugs. Alright, save entry. And before I check the numbers on our saved entry, what did I do? I reversed them. How did I do that? And then happy thing. Save entry. Words written 48, so it even counts fixes. Oh, it's working! Oh, that's delightful. So it did find them, but I didn't put 41 words in for the happiness. So, is it counting characters? Let's go over to Trello. No. Let's keep doing it the way we were doing it. Add a new item. No. Scroll bar / word wrap with out. Shrinking words. And variables not connected. Color chooser for minor objects is gone. Add date and time are not reading from variables given. On load of system or game object. Create. Good. Oh dear. My fault. I will go fix that. My Isekai life. Bug. Delete. Delete. Good. Good. Close. Reopen. There we are. Add item. This was child. Child color. Items are no longer populating in the list. Good. This is the most complicated system that the game will possess, as so much is wired into it. Go ahead and remove that and replace it with the child emotion count for dominant mood appeared to collect characters? Not collect individual words. Perfect. Excellent. So we have our happiness tracking, which has our variables in it, but they're not specified. So I'm getting that, but it's not showing the... Maybe it's counting every word. I don't know. I honestly don't know. We'll find out, though, until we're sure it's working right. Good, good, good. At least they're plugged in. And then basic writing statistics. All right, now we'll pull in, just to validate that the whole system is not working, we will pull in all of the variables for the tracking system. I'm going to close this tab, and I'm going to dock this over here, like so. Because I can always close it while we're playing with this way. I don't have to fight with it. It is good that I can dock this so that you can see the micro windows that I'm working in. All right, so we do not need that. We did need that. That's the test. That's all rigged. All right, so we're going to call this total entries. Copy it. Paste, set it to a number, which will always be added to, and then we're going to grab our journal variables all the way across, like so. Good. And journal variables like so, and then total entries. Good. And then a new one, which is entries month. Good. Set it to a number. Excellent. Paste. Entries today. Number. Good. And can I simply... I cannot. Unique entries. Like so. Excellent. Good. Before we continue, we will start there. I should set that to a number first, though. I will need to add emotes to my channel eventually. I have a collection of them for us that I had produced. Save again. Play. The game is wired for Photon and Fusion, which are two online source technologies. One I would use for sound. Eventually I will introduce Odin. I think it's year 3 of this project that I have for a multiplayer milestone for a shared zone with Mario Kart and Mario Party style minigames. But, as you know, this project is to build the best 𝗗𝗃𝒊𝗄 journal that exists. And that is where I will put my energy. Everything else will be cake. And then we will begin to build our town, which is an exciting endeavor. It will make for a lovely streaming day to watch. My Stream Deck has minor icons now for the few emotions this version of the model is capable of doing. I'm working on creating the 3D version of the model for use in Hyper to stream with, who has access to quite a bit more blend shapes. But for now... Alright, so... I will be so very curious if we see initially any variables. Now, our numbers likely resumed. They did. Our statistics resumed. So on load, the variables did not fill. So I think the way this needs to work is that the variables should be on load variables specified should overwrite the values in the save file if they're higher. If they're lower, then the variable should be overwritten with the other number. Saved statistics. Okay. And that, there we are. Good. Closed. Good. Update the bug. Just going to keep updating it as we discover things. All right. That is a distinct shame. But to be expected. I suspect I will need to continue to do these elements then in code. That's enough bugs with the system that I am willing to switch gears into. Let's see, what are you feeling today? Do you want to be working in the season that we're working in? Let's change our season out to be summer. Here we are. Much better. Only because I think if I look at Bloom for the entire day while I'm coding, I'll lose my mind. Now, we have a large map at our disposal, and I'm going to turn our grid back on. This is part of the experience that I suspect you will each spend a great deal of time working with me on, is we'll have to decide in what grids what items go. And I can carve new paths over the terrain that go to new places. The forest is likely somewhere that will hide treasure and small buildings. Along the path is likely where we'll see most of our homes and things go. Now, one of the things I had been doing over in Shelf is I had been grabbing foundations, but I also installed a new plugin. I wonder if I can find it. So let's try what I would like to do, just out of curiosity's sake, because I've been thinking about this all day, is one of the things we need to go do is I need to go into... We have seasons, we have houses, we have buildings. So let's create a new building here. So let's create a new folder, call this folder 02, and let's call it Town Hall, like so. I have a building already set aside that I wanted specifically for this, and I think it's in one of these. Save. Give it a moment to load. I have an absolutely gorgeous building that I wanted to turn into a town hall. All right, and let's go here, like so. No, that was towers, which I no longer need. I will circle back around for some of the decor, though. What are you? Farmlands. This was the farm. And as I recall, I don't recall whether this house can be entered or not. It can, and it's empty and would need cleaning. I would have to clean up some of the rogue shapes in here and place down some new walls and some flooring. What a lovely building, though. I'm assuming the same can be said for these farmhouses down here as well. That they are not. Oh, but at least the insides on these. Oh, I could absolutely build inside of these. So let's go ahead and put that one. Let's put a pin in that. Excellent. Oh, I like the clouds. What are you? I really like that a lot. What is that particle effect? It's two-dimensional. Is that just a placed item? Oh, I will absolutely use those. How lovely. All right, let's look at this one. Was that redundant? Is that the same file? I think it is. Certainly looks similar. Oh, those clouds are lovely. That house is submerged, which is one of the problems we will be solving today, is that I want there to be buildings all around that we use. All right, let's go into our buildings with interior, and let's look at our scenes in buildings with interior. I believe these are just the standalones. These were the ones that my instinct was to use right out of the gate because they're cute and they're sized differently and they're just right for a small NPC. So that one we will for a fact be coming back to, which we will place here. This one I had gathered last week. I should be able to pull up the Legend Keeper. Whenever it decides it's done. It's calculating lighting assets. All right. This suite did not have a prefab built in it. Usually, people give roofs, windows, awnings, fences. I will have to get a snapping tool to make use of that one, which is fine. So let's go back to locations, and I would like to open up the Legend Keeper, which I am afraid you cannot see at this time. But it is public, so the URL, which I will place in the chat for you, it's here. The URL leads to the public file, which anyone at any time is welcome to make use of. Over to ThoughtSpace. Now, which one of you? I have interiors and exteriors. I have Suntail. I have Stylized Human. The Basilica Cathedral. Could it have been idyllic fantasy? Or was it the modular styled medieval inn? Well, let's go one at a time, shall we? Medieval house pack. Medieval. This is the... Don't save, no need. We have ourselves... We can fix this very quickly by doing this. Good, good. And we go. Standard. This is most certainly not the pack. Oh, this was the minor farm. These were flagged for retexturing. All right. Let's go back to scenes. And to the overview. There we are. Most of this should be unique foliage. Most. Good. I have landmarks listed. What did I decide was a landmark? Oh, I see the pumpkin wagon. It's so cute. Can't wait to use this during the Halloween event. It will likely be one of the only events during the year where you see there are seasons. It is caves, houses, where you see this character appear in game, as he is spoopy-centric. And you'll note that we use the word spoopy because its alternative is actually, unbeknownst to most, these. I was so very excited about these homes. So let's make sure we get buildings with interiors listed in here. Like so. Azure Nature, it's not. I found that I had Bastion yesterday. I didn't think I had installed Bastion. I do so love this pack. It was such a shame to me because this one I've had for quite a while. It really is only good for external scenery. There is no internal architecture to it, which was such a shame. All right. Here we have the BK pack contains quite a few of our usable asset packs, and I do not remember which one of these had buildings we wanted. Now what we'll have to decide is a community. Oh, I see pink. House is merged. Good, I see pink. So we switch over and we grab our materials and we go into our materials. We change our materials. Of course we can't. Of course we can't. BK I will have to turn back around on. These are all nature packs and it came in as URP. So I have a tool which downgrades to standard. Distant lands. Switch back for scenes. And ancient forest. Fantastic city. Now we know these. These are places that we will visit later in the game. These are scenes we will use later. Because you'll see why in a moment. Can I get down to assets, architecture, and zoom in? This is a lovely environment. Perfect for us, for an eventual discovery in the world. There's quite a bit of interiors that happen here. It's just too large for our starting area. This is a place you want to go on a mission, to go on quests. So we will reintroduce this later as one of the 3 towns that you can go into. Probably during bloom would be my guess, is when you'll discover this. I'll change the trees out for pink. Not fantastic. Let's do Fantastic Village Night. And the same thing, go down to assets and then buildings and zoom in. And zoom in again. I do not believe any of these have interiors. No, they don't. All of these are exterior fluff. So that one's a no. And this is adventure, mine pack, stylized environment. I could kick myself. I had a note of which one of these had the town hall I wish to use in it. And now I've lost it. This is a large scene, give it a moment. I hear a child who has awoken. Try that again, shall we? This is most certainly not it, but what a lovely forest environment. throw a boundary around this. Look how beautiful this is. Really well done. The cabin, I do believe, was a yes. It had an interior, so we will likely use this building hidden back amongst the trees, would be my guess. Yes. All right. We go ahead and take this one into building with interior. And idyllic to demo. A child awakens. Be right back. Friends, I have a child with a disability who is desperately in need of sustenance. He has woken and would like